the Oklahoma City Thunder sent a powerful message with their decisive victory over the Denver Nuggets. It's important not to overreact to a single regular season game, especially one where the Thunder entered as significant road favorites. The context matters, and the result itself wasn't a shocking deviation from expectations. However, this performance reinforces a pattern that has become impossible to ignore over the past 2 seasons. The Nuggets, despite their championship pedigree and the presence of the world's best player, find themselves in a nightmarish positional bind whenever they face this specific Oklahoma City roster. The matchups are catastrophically lopsided, creating a scenario where Denver simply lacks the personnel to compete in a 7-game series. Both teams were dealing with significant absences. Nikola Jokic, returning from a month-long layoff, was visibly working through rust and operating under a minutes restriction. The Nuggets were also missing 3/5 of their starting lineup. Conversely, the Thunder were without their All-NBA wing, Jalen Williams, along with key rotational pieces like Alex Caruso and A.J. Mitchell. The final score, a 10-point Thunder win, doesn't fully capture their dominance. Oklahoma City controlled the tempo and maintained a lead that fluctuated between 15 and 20 points for the majority of the second half. While many will dismiss this as an isolated event in a long season, it continues a trend that originated with a single franchise-altering acquisition, Isaiah Hartenstein. The arrival of Isaiah Hartenstein propelled the Thunder into a new stratosphere specifically concerning their matchup with Denver. It provided them with a structural and personnel-based answer to the Nuggets' core strength. This has created an untenable situation for the defending champions. The Denver Nuggets cannot beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in a playoff series. It is a fundamental clash of styles and personnel where Denver's weaknesses are exploited mercilessly. While the Thunder might show vulnerability against other Western Conference giants like the San Antonio Spurs or Minnesota Timberwolves, teams the Nuggets could likely handle, they are a perfect kryptonite for Denver. Beating this Thunder team 4 times in 2 weeks is a practical impossibility barring a catastrophic injury crisis in Oklahoma City. The entire dilemma boils down to one irreducible fact: Nikola Jokic cannot solve this team. Oklahoma City is uniquely equipped with elite defensive personnel engineered to neutralize him. The combination of Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein is the cornerstone of this strategy. These 2 players represent 2 of the 3 highest net-rated defenders in the entire NBA, trailing only Victor Wembanyama. They are both centers, capable of being deployed simultaneously against Jokic or in staggered rotations to harass him for 48 minutes. This is a luxury no other team possesses. Furthermore, the Thunder scheme is not reliant solely on these 2 giants. They aggressively collapse perimeter defenders down onto Jokic, making it a struggle for him to even receive an entry pass, let alone operate comfortably in the high post. The Thunder's defensive philosophy is a calculated gamble. They swarm Jokic, forcing the ball out of his hands and into the grasp of his teammates. The strategy banks on the premise that Denver's role players, and even its elite secondary star Jamal Murray, cannot consistently make the shots generated by this pressure. Oklahoma City is wagering that over a 7-game series, the shooting variance will fall in their favor. They dare anyone other than Jokic to beat them. The evidence from recent matchups supports this approach. In this latest game, Jokic attempted only 9 shots. He was efficient, but his impact was muted. This mirrored last season's Game 7 between these teams, where Jokic also took just 9 shots. The objective is clear: completely remove the ball from the best player on the planet and live with the consequences. When you force the ball away from Jokic, the offensive burden falls disproportionately on Jamal Murray. Murray is an outstanding player, coming off a career year and deserving of his first All-Star selection. He carried the Nuggets admirably during Jokic's recent absence. Yet, this specific matchup is a problem for him. The Thunder's perimeter defenders, rotating out of double teams, are exceptionally long and disruptive. The numbers tell a stark story. In this game, Murray scored just 12 points on 4 of 16 shooting. In last year's Game 7, he managed only 13 points on 6 of 16 shooting. When the game plan dictates that Murray must be the primary offensive engine to punish the Thunder for focusing on Jokic, he has not shown a consistent ability to do so at the level required to win a series. Some will point to poor shooting variance for Denver's role players as a mitigating factor. Tim Hardaway Jr., for instance, couldn't buy a basket. But this analysis isn't about making excuses for Denver's supporting cast, it's a commentary on the strategic prison Jokic finds himself in. Realistically, the only counter for Jokic might be to attempt an extraordinary volume of difficult shots, 20 to 30 attempts per game against the two best defensive bigs in the league, with additional help defenders flying at him. Even if he were to have a generational performance, like his 44-point outing in last year's Game 5, victory isn't guaranteed. The Nuggets lost that game because, with Jokic scoring at will, his assist numbers plummeted, and Murray again struggled with efficiency. The Thunder's defense is designed to force Denver into this exact, unsustainable binary choice. The second, equally devastating layer of this matchup problem operates on the other end of the court. While Nikola Jokic is unequivocally the best player in the world, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a definitive number 2, a soon-to-be two-time MVP. The defensive mismatch he exploits is the mirror opposite of Jokic's struggle. Jokic is forced to operate against the number 2 and number 3 rated defenders in basketball. Meanwhile, SGA gets to attack the Denver Nuggets' profoundly inadequate perimeter defense. This is where the personnel gap becomes a chasm. Last night, the primary defenders tasked with checking SGA were Peyton Watson, 111th in net defensive rating, Spencer Jones, 145th, and Jamal Murray, 153rd. The contrast is absurd. Jokic faces an elite defensive fortress. SGA faces a defensive turnstile. It is intellectually dishonest to frame this as Shai beat Jokic. The reality is that Shai dominated the subpar defenders Jokic's team provides him, while Jokic was stifled by an all-time great defensive tandem. This is not an apples-to-apples comparison. The foundational roster construction is the issue. The best overall defender on the Denver Nuggets is Nikola Jokic himself, ranked 31st league-wide. Their next best defender is ranked 111th, Oklahoma City, conversely, has the second, third, and fourth-ranked defenders in the NBA. The Thunder are built with elite, versatile defenders at every level. The Nuggets are built around one historically great offensive engine with severe defensive limitations around him. When SGA faces such negligible resistance, the only recourse is to send hard double teams. He has proven more than capable of passing out of them, and when the Thunder's role players are hitting their threes, as they were for most of this game, the strategy implodes. Oklahoma City's occasional shooting slumps are the only thing that gives opponents a chance, but you cannot base a playoff series hope on variance. The Nuggets' path is further clouded by significant injury concerns. 3 key rotation players remain out indefinitely, with the playoffs just 2 months away. Even if Denver achieves full health, it doesn't solve the core structural problems this matchup exposes. The only plausible path for the Nuggets to reach the NBA Finals now involves careful seeding. They must aim for the second seed and hope that the Minnesota Timberwolves or San Antonio Spurs can eliminate the Thunder in an earlier round, as those teams present a different, more manageable challenge for Denver. But if the postseason bracket leads to another direct confrontation between the Nuggets and the Thunder, the outcome feels predetermined. Mark Daigneault has devised a perfect, personnel-driven strategy to contain Nikola Jokic. The Oklahoma City Thunder have assembled the perfect roster to execute it. For the Denver Nuggets, it is more than a tough matchup, it is an impossible one. The Thunder aren't just better, they are architected to dismantle Denver's very identity.